Hi, I'm Don Maass, and welcome to this workshop for the Women's Fiction Writers Association called Inner versus Outer, Writing with Emotional Power. As we write fiction, we feel a lot, but that doesn't mean, though, that our readers are also feeling a lot. And if they're not feeling a lot, well, that's not good. We want our readers to have a highly emotional experience. We want them to feel what our characters feel. We want them to feel things they didn't expect to feel. We might even want them to feel things they've never felt before. How does that happen? Some novels are a highly emotional reading experience and others are not. In fact, I'd say many are not. Think about it. If I asked you to list all the novels that have truly put you through an emotional ringer, how long would that list be? I'll bet you it's not very long. And I'll bet you, too, that some of those novels on your list are not current novels, but classics. What causes a reader to feel deeply is something they read on the page. On its most basic level, it's one of two things. It's either a feeling that a character has that's described in words, or it's a feeling that the reader feels because of something that happens. It's either told or shown. It's either explicit in words or excited in the reader's heart. It's either inner or outer. A common question I get in workshops is about striking the right balance. How much inner versus how much outer? When to tell, when to show? How much interiority versus how much action? We're going to answer that question in this workshop, but that's not all. Women's fiction is a story type that puts a lot of emphasis on characters' inner experience. There's a lot of inner monologue, characters' thoughts and feelings, what I call exposition, that is, exposition as opposed to action, dialogue, or description. But that's not to say that setting down exposition causes the reader to feel what the character feels. Emotions on the page can produce little more than a dull hum, a mere tolerance, even a shrug of indifference on the part of readers. And oddly, that can be the most true when the emotions portrayed are the biggest, loudest, and most primal. On the other hand, in effective women's fiction, there can be passages of telling that hold us in suspense, that arrest and transfix us, that fire our hearts in ways that we didn't expect. Small emotions, throwaway observations, detours into unnecessary thoughts and feelings can be some of the most gripping stuff we read. Sometimes such passages can be quite long, and still they nail our attention to the page. How do they do that? Why do some long passages of exposition work sometimes and not others? Why do some writers seem to get away with it in highly praised published novels, whereas when we try the same thing in our manuscripts, our critique partners or editors tell us to trim it down or cut it? Also, why is it that some small events in novels can cause tears to spring to our eyes and our hearts to swell, whereas other highly dramatic events, in contrast, leave us cold? When and how does action provoke powerful emotions? How can we know whether an observable outer action or event that we create will be effective? And how can we be sure that readers will react strongly to something that a character says? In addition to that, how can we create for readers an emotional journey, a progression of feelings that engages and builds and confounds, challenges and finally transforms? Some novels only make us swim in a sea of swirling emotions, producing an effect in readers not unlike the graffiti art on this wall. Not what I'd call a journey exactly, more like a colorful but chaotic flinging of emotional paint against a wall, bright but shapeless, visually arresting maybe, but without a feeling of taking us anywhere, of bringing us finally and gratefully to a destination we hope to reach without even knowing that we were heading there. Can we control our readers' emotional responses at all? It might seem that we can't. I mean, after all, readers bring to their reading their own mood and mindset, experiences, neuroses, prejudices, and tastes. Just look at reader reviews on Amazon. Compare the 5-star reviews with the 1-star reviews, and holy cow, I mean, were those readers reading the same novel? Maybe readers just like what they like. Maybe they respond to our fiction when they're in sync with it, and when they're not, well, what can you do? Sometimes some readers just won't get it. Maybe? Feeling that way about readers is understandable, but ask me, is sort of surrendering some of the power of storytelling. After all, remember that some of those novels on Amazon win overwhelmingly 5-star reviews. All readers got it. Almost all went on the emotional journey, a journey that was crafted and controlled by the author. Call it an art if you want to, but to me it's craft. It's a command of the reader's experience that comes from the skillful shaping of the emotional effects in a novel, page by page, scene by scene, beginning to end. You can take your readers on an emotional journey. To do that, though, requires that you first intend to do so, and either early or later in your process, map that journey and recruit your reader along for the ride. It doesn't matter whether you're an outline writer or an intuitive writer, a planner or a pantser. First draft or final draft, you ultimately are in control of what's on the page and the effect it has on your readers. So here's how the workshop is going to go. Each day, Monday through Friday, you'll log into the WFWA website and navigate to a special forum page where that day's lesson will be posted. Each day I'll be describing specific techniques that you can use and also giving you prompts and exercises that you can use to put those techniques into practice. Work on your work in progress. Everything we'll be doing is meant to be put to use immediately. You'll also be able to post passages from your daily work on the forum for comment and feedback by other participants. I'll be dropping by each day to take a look and add a few comments of my own. Finally, next Saturday, we'll gather together again via a live webinar service for an hour of Q&A. To get ready for this workshop, I'd like you to prepare the following things. First, write down for me what you want your readers to feel the most strongly as they read your novel. Second, write down what you feel about your main character, both what's good about this person and bad about this person. Third, pick from the middle of your manuscript a blah scene. That's a technical term. It means a scene that's just there, moving the story along a step, but not particularly standing out. It might be a travel scene or an aftermath scene, and just something routine. We're going to use those things in the workshop this week. By the end of our week, you'll have a set of tools and techniques that you can use to create powerful emotional experiences for your readers. You'll know when to tell and when to show. You'll know in advance whether an action that you create will have an emotional impact on your readers or not. You'll know how to put emotions on the page that catch readers by surprise and cause them to feel things that they didn't expect to feel. You'll be able to create extended passages of telling and make them work. You'll also be in control of your reader's emotional journey through your novel, and along the way, I think, discover something about your own emotional journey in telling your story. Thanks for joining me on this journey of discovery, emotional discovery. I'm excited about it, and I hope you'll be excited too. That'll be nice to feel, won't it? Excitement? Every writing day should feel like that, and it can and it will. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Do the daily assignments and enjoy the results. We're going to have some fun.